Hey everyone, welcome to Kempner Canucks. My name is RevTrev, and today you're in for a special treat because I'm going to be diving into my NHL Power Rankings for the season. It is going to be incredible. I can't wait to share with you and you guys and you girls these rankings. Now, this is the beginning of the season. We're going to be diving into each team very quickly. And so some people were asking in the last stream, what's the criteria? And part of it is how at the beginning of the season, it's hard to tell. I've moved up some people really high. So some of it's based on last season. Others are based on this with some of the changes and some of the predictions I have to start early on. And yeah, so I'm really excited about it. Obviously, I'm a Canucks fan who loves to make passionate, realistic, and honest Canucks content. But I'm going to be doing this. This is the plan. I'm going to be doing this once a month, and I'm going to be doing rankings and by standings, by who's beaten who, and yeah, so it's going to be a ever-changing list. But to start the season, it's going to be a little difficult because basically it is how people ended last year, plus some new changes or additions or subtractions to get to this place. And so I'm going to walk through these all together. And if you haven't followed me on my socials yet, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, X, or Instagram, please follow me on Kempner Canucks. I'd really appreciate it. So we're gonna dive into this tonight. I've got a whole bunch to talk about. There's so many people that are arriving already, and like Dell saying the Canucks should be ranked first in RevTrev. I trust. I'm sorry to disappoint you, Dell. The Vancouver Canucks are not first on my list. And just a reminder that I do passionate, realistic, and honest. So some of these rankings you might actually be upset at me with, and I just want to stay clear that this is my mandate. These are my core values for the channel. So I'm just going to give you my honest take. And I'm hoping that our Vancouver Canucks win the Stanley Cup, but whether they do or not will be to be determined. So I have already given a spoiler that Vancouver is not number one on my list. And you might be surprised or disappointed who I keep at or put at number one. We're going to dive into it. So we might as well get into it, right? Everyone, there's so many people here already, and I'm really glad that you're here. So I'm going to try to do it at the beginning of each month. So it's beginning of the season. It's October 5th. Technically, the season has started. New Jersey has beaten Buffalo twice. There is no surprise to anyone there. It's going to be very, very interesting to see where this season turns out. I can't wait. I can't wait for the season to turn out. It's going to be fantastic. And you can be sure you can follow all my socials to follow how the Canucks do. But let's dive into it because I know that's why you're here. I know that's I know that you're here to check this out, and I don't mind pushback. So if you agree or disagree, please post it in the comments. I'd really appreciate it. So this is Power Rankings, NHL Power Rankings, episode 1. Basically, October is the one. I should say, maybe I should say Power Rankings October might be better. October and October edition. Is it edition? Yeah, edition, not addition. Okay. Power Rankings October edition. How's that? This is the first one of the season, and this is where I'm going to rank. I know I've already made people mad in the chat already. I get it. Dell, are you already mad at me? Of course you are. What kind of fan are you? Fan is short for fanatical. Yeah, absolutely. And you might be surprised where I have Vancouver. So I don't want to give any more there. I think some of you are going to be excited and disappointed. But let's be realistic. Let's be honest. And let's dive into these things. Okay. So we're going to get into it. And I don't know how long this video is going to be, but we're going to start from the bottom and go all the way to the top. There is a lot. Season's just around the corner. So here we go. Here we go. So we're going to dive into the top 32 to 23, the bottom 32 to 23, which is the bottom 10. Bottom 10, everyone. And so I'm going to take this off because now we see it on there. So bottom of the barrel, in my opinion, is the San Jose Sharks. The San Jose Sharks, everyone. And I love that they got Celebrini. I like some of the changes they've made, but I just don't see them yet being good enough to get out of the bottom at this stage. They have too many holes, in my opinion. They have too many holes, in my opinion, that we can see. So I'm going to start with the San Jose Sharks, who only had 47 points last season. And the other thing is, too, everyone, last year, the Chicago Blackhawks were the second worst team in the league with 52 points. As you can see here, I am now under the tutelage, not tutelage. I am on tutelage. What am I talking about? I am under the impression that I think they're going to improve this year. And in fact, they might be what I would consider my sleeper pick, everyone. Not sleeper, sorry. You're going to see improvement. And I actually think that I've ranked them too low at number 28. Okay. I've ranked them too low at 28. I think they're going to go higher this season, but to start with, until I see more, I guess I need to be over here until I see more. Speaking of seeing more, I have something in my eye. I'm going to keep them at 28, but the Columbus Blue Jackets, as much as they have been a solid team last season, they were okay. They still really, really struggled. And I just think the devastating news of Johnny Gaudreau, and I think they could play and outbid some people. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what we're gonna have here. But I just think it's too devastating of a loss. Johnny Gaudreau's too good of a player to replace. He can't replace him. Like, it's unreplaceable. The only thing I can see with the Columbus Blue Jackets is having that fire and playing for Johnny, that I actually think is a really, really incredible thing. So I'm quite happy if the Blue Jackets make it higher than this, but with all the loss and the challenge and the emotional challenge, it'd be hard to see them get past the bottom, and they need to rebuild, right? And so I no disrespect to the team or to the organization. I'm just telling you how it is. I feel like I'm going to have to kind of go there. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Anything on this list, anyone that you are disagree or agree with, put it in the chat. I'm happy. Or if you're watching this later, put it in the comments. But the Calgary Flames, I think, are an absolute rebuild. And I think people are thinking that they're going to be better than they are. I just, when I look at this team, and without Markstrom now, without Lindholm, without Zadorov, not that Zadorov was the hugest blessing in their place, but too many people gone. Tanev, all those guys, they're in a full rebuild, okay? And their goal is to be vying for one of the worst spots. So I know that they're going to try to put on a team that's competitive. I just don't think they have the firepower. And in fact, I think Rasmus Anderson's going to be on his way out. I think they're going to trade Kuzmenko during the year as well. They're going to do a full rebuild, okay? So that's why I have them so low. The Anaheim Ducks have a new jersey, but it doesn't really matter at this stage. I want to see it on the ice. So yes, they have the young guns. When will they be able to take a next step? Is it this season? This is their time to start proving I mean, I don't know how many years they're going to keep having those young guys, but someone has to produce. So I'm not in on the Ducks yet. Maybe it's next year. The Chicago Blackhawks that I talked to you about, I think Bedard is going to be healthy. I could see them being higher than this 23 this season, but I'm going to keep them lower until we see more of it. Okay, the Montreal Canadiens, again, another team that has struggled. I don't see, without that, they were so excited about Line A coming and now going to miss months, could maybe miss more than that. I'm not optimistic. I mean, we're talking Suzuki, Caulfield, Slavaski. That's their top line. Everything else is just okay. Like Kirby, Dutch. I mean, I just don't, when you're looking at this lineup, there's no real superstars. And maybe it's one of those cases where you're going to see them come and you're going to play. But goaltending, guys, I don't think they have the goaltending. I like, are they going to be able to compete? This team maybe will rally around and become that team that is like that team that is just sitting there and going, you know what? They're just a good team together, that they emerge as great, not as great players on this team, but it's really about just believing in one another and all that kind of stuff. So maybe they'll surprise me, but I'm pretty low, as you can see, on them, absolutely low on them. So, and then the Buffalo Sabres, again, like how they're building, just can't see them getting, I mean, this is going to be a lot of negativity right now, but Tage Thompson, I like him a lot. Dylan Cousins, but they don't have a lot to play with, in my opinion. Everyone, I like Dahlin a lot. Owen Byram, Owen Power. I like them, but I just think, again, they've got a lot of holes. And the goaltending is just, in my opinion, not there yet, not there. And so I think they're going to be a bottom barrel team. Number 25, which I'm thinking, there's part of me that's thinking, man, I think the Utah Hockey Club, by the way, just really bothers me that they didn't take the time to make a name and a logo. Come on. At the end of the day, are you kidding me right now? Why wouldn't you do that? And it's like, don't give me a break. You could, now their jersey colors are pretty cool, I'll admit. Look, they sound like a soccer team. Just because of that, I want to put them lower. But Dylan Guenther, he's really talented. Logan Cooley, Braden Hyatt, Keller. You just look at this team, and it's like, I think they're on their way, but they're not there yet. I think they need a couple more drafts. But Sergachev going to be on the top line. Ian Cole's on the second line, people. Like this is what we're talking about here. And then, of course, goaltending is probably the thing that's going to save them. Connor Ingram, I think, is a very, very good goalie. It's just a bad team. It's a bad team. Now, if we go to the Seattle Kraken, not last year, but the year before, they had 100 points, and they have just fallen off the map. I had a hard time ranking Seattle. I had a really hard time ranking Seattle because Beniers, Jared McCann, Borkstrand, pretty good. I think they overpaid Chandler Stevenson. I don't think he's as good as they paid him. Shane Wright really needs to take some steps for this team to do it, and I just haven't seen it yet. I mean, I like Jordan Eberle a lot. Jaden Schultz. I guess, in my opinion, they have two lines, but I think they have three. So maybe they're the team. But Dunn, Larson, those two guys, Brandon Montour, I think they're going to be tough. I just don't know. I guess it comes down to the health of Grubauer and goal, and maybe their backup takes over. I'm not really sure. So that's where I'm at with them. And then to be in the bottom 10, we're going with the St. Louis Blues, everyone. The St. Louis Blues. Now, this is the one I think people could be really upset. Dylan Holloway went from the third line in Edmonton to the first line in St. Louis. That's what we're talking about here. Robert Thomas, solid. Bruce Navich, good. Kyrou, solid. I think they have, I don't know. I just think if Robert Thomas is your top center, I think he's a second-line center at best. Broberg and Holloway, I mean, they're good additions to help this team. But I guess I just don't as well believe in Binnington. And I guess people have counted them out for a long time. This is another one of those ones where I think maybe as a team, they come together and maybe play better than I'm anticipating. But that's where I'm at. So, so that's kind of where I am. Monty, I know that we did, actually, someone's going to come out and say, you just hate the Flames. That's why you're doing that. Yeah, I'm number one Flames hater. Okay. Absolutely. But that doesn't mean that that's what I picked. Okay. I just do not think they're very good. And the reasons why I gave it. So Monty, I'm hearing you here. Calgary in 5 years could possibly be a team to reckon with. Depends on what they do with those picks they have hoarded. Absolutely. Shannon says, I don't really think that the Utah club needs to get, I can't really see this, needs to get more players and really hope that Utah Hockey Club don't do what Vegas did. Right. Okay. So, 3 of the 4 bottom in the Pacific. You know what they're saying? They're saying that the Pacific is one of the weakest ones of the year. So, but yeah, let me just see any others. Okay, you guys want to do your top 5? That's cool. We're going from the bottom up. Okay, there is a ton of work that goes into that. I think you're really underselling here, Trev. I think it's too dumb too, but there just wasn't enough time. What are you talking about, man? What are you talking about? Are you talking about Calgary? Please clarify. I'm not sure. Oh, you're talking about Utah Hockey Club. I understand that, but in the day of graphic designers, of social media people, if you can design a jersey, you can have a name and a logo. You can do that. I think they're going to end up with a Utah Yeti anyways. So I understand what you're trying to say. But Utah spent all that time coming to possible names and logos. What happened to all? Exactly. So I'm not there. I'm disappointed, and I know that might bother you, but it is what it is. Okay, let's dive in to 22 to 13. So the New York Islanders have been this is one of those ones where they've been a very good team, okay? They've been a very good team. But here's the thing. Actually, I wonder if I could move this over this way. There we go. That's weird. Okay, just move it back. Okay, sorry, everyone. Just trying to see here. Okay, so the New York Islanders, let me just explain here. This is one of those teams that I don't think is loaded with talent, but what they are is they are a very good team together. Why I dropped them so low is because I don't know how long Shesterkin is out for. Varlamov is okay, but as long as Shesterkin is there, I'm nervous about their chances because their forward depth, in my opinion, isn't strong. You know, you have on the top line Declare, Horvat, Barzal, possibly. You got Brock Nelson. He's solid. I mean, he got 69 points last year. Kale Palmieri. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like the lower it goes, you're like, I haven't even heard of some of these guys. The guy I do like a lot, though, is Noah Dobson, and he is a fantastic defenseman. I've tried to pick him up in every single one of my pools. The next one is the one that I would like to see higher, and that's the Philadelphia Flyers. And not just because they've been my second favorite team over the years. I'm just a huge believer in Michkov. But again, it's Michkov, Couturier, Konechny. Those guys are solid. The rest of them, it's just like, who? Defensively, I'm not a huge fan. And then goaltending wise, Eriksson is the guy, and I just haven't seen enough out of him So that's why I have them so low. Then we go to the Washington Capitals. Everyone's forgetting about them, and they don't think they're very good. But I still think that they have some solid pieces. Solid pieces. Obviously, Ovechkin's still there, but you look at this team, everyone, and it's a shell of what it was. There's no Backstrom right now, or Oshie. Those are huge holes. Your goalies are Lindgren and Logan Thompson. I just don't think they're good enough. Chychrun and Carlson are excellent as defensemen, but this team is lacking skill. It got some grit. But you just look at the forward lines, you just look at the forward lines. I'm not pumped about it. I'm not pumped. In fact, I could see them dropping and these other two teams coming up. Let's go to the Pittsburgh Penguins, everyone. The Pittsburgh Penguins, in my books, are just like, they just never, they just keep clicking. But this is now where it's gonna start. The wheels are gonna start coming off. They don't have the young depth yet. You have Crosby and Malkin in the middle for the top two lines. You have Rust. Beauvillier's on the top line, everyone. Let's just stop for a moment. Like, he couldn't make the Canucks roster. He was often third or fourth line, healthy scratch. You got him on the top line with Crosby. I just don't see it, guys. I don't see it. I know that their power play is going to be fine because you're going to have Crosby, Malkin. That's why I still have them a little higher than Washington. But where are we going to Tristan Jarry? That's the goalie. He's solid. I wouldn't say he's fantastic. So we know that goaltending is important. Bunting, Raquel, I don't know, Pelvari. Kevin Hayes, one of the most overpaid players in the NHL. There's nothing to get excited about this team. They're aging. They're going down. Okay, they're aging. They're going down. And then there's the Minnesota Wild, and I just think the Minnesota Wild have a lot more talent than these other teams, and this is where it starts getting to be a lot better quality of teams, in my opinion. Kaprizov and Zuccarello alone, Eriksson, Ek, Boldy. I'm a huge believer in Boldy. Man, he's good. Foligno's on the third line. Hartman, like this. This is a team, guys. This is a team. Broden, Faber on defense with Middleton, Spurgeon. And then I do really like their goaltending. Gustafsson, he is great with Marc-Andre Fleury on the back. So I feel this is where, top 18 down now, there's some pretty solid teams. Okay, let's dive into 17. I have pumped up. Listen, the Ottawa Senators, where were they last year? Where were they? They are what? They were 26 last year. I'm believing in the hype, everyone. I've been talking with Hockey Talk on the Rock. Those two know their stuff. They're saying, Trevor, you had Ottawa too low, so I'm bringing them up. I'm bringing up Ottawa. I love what they did in the offseason in the way of getting goaltending, because it matters, as I've already said tonight. Allmark going there is what they've been missing, in my opinion. So you got Brady Tkachuk, Stützle, and Giroux. That's a great first line. Norris, Batherson, Greg, Perron is on the third line. Pinto. Wow, this is a solid team. Defensively, I think they're better than they look on paper. And so I've got them all the way at 17. I know some people even have them higher than that, and that's kind of wild in my books. Okay, let's dive into the most boring team in the NHL, the LA Kings. The LA Kings. And so you got Kopitar, who just does not quit. The guy pumps out tons of points every season. Guys, it's insane to think about. In fact, I need to bring up his stats real quick. That's how good he was. Let me just see. Let's go last year's stats. So Kopitar had 70 points last year on 26 goals. He had 23 power play points, 44 assists. I mean, the guy is ancient, and he's still putting up those kind of numbers. That's insane. This team is definitely a good team. Byfield, Fogle, Fiala, Kempe. I think losing Doughty really hurts. I'm not gonna, but I mean, again, older guy, but with all the experience. Darcy Kemper, I think, is a decent goalie. David Ricci is a solid backup. That's why I have the Kings high. I could see them dropping, but I'm not sure at this stage. I just think they're a good cohesive group, and it's really hard. Now, you might be surprised at the Detroit Red Wings because they were 18 last year, and I have them ranked as the 15th best team. The 15th best team, everyone. So the Detroit Red Wings are my 15. I think they're going to take another step forward. DeBrincat, Larkin, Raymond, love that. Tarasenko, Coffer, Patrick Kane. That's a good second line. It's not great, but it's good enough. This team has got to be. Andrew Kopp is a third line center. Tyler Mott is on the fourth line. He just has a motor that doesn't quit. And you guys know that I really enjoy Schneider and Petrie's there, the second line. I think they're solid enough. Now, it all comes down to, as well as this young group can go, Talbot just ends up having solid years. He everyone says he's a bad goaltender. I don't think he's an elite goaltender, but he's in that upper echelon of like when it's like bad, average, and then there's like Talbot's above that. And so he just always ends up being on teams that can contend and compete. So I might have Detroit too high. I really might have Detroit too high, but this is the one where I'm a little bit nervous. New Jersey was 23. I think that New Jersey is going to turn things around this season, and I've jumped them from 23 all the way to 14. Guys, this team, in my opinion, is just loaded with young talent that's been working well. They just had a bad year last year. That's my prediction. I think they're really good, like really good. And the addition of Markstrom, you've got Timo Meier, Jack Hughes, and Bratt on that top line. You've got Heischer and Mercer and Tatar on the second line, and then just a lot of grinders. Dougie Hamilton's on D with Brendan Dillon, which Vancouver Canucks fans wanted, but I think that's a little bit of a stretch there. But we'll see. Maybe he really flourishes. But Jake Allen and Markstrom, that's a good combo. I'm loving the New Jersey Devils this season. And then we go to the Tampa Bay Lightning, and I just find them the hardest because they have the talent to be incredible, but they lost Stamkos, right? They lost Stamkos, but they still have Kucherov. Kucherov had like 144 points last year, 100 assists. You've got Braden Point, still good. Jake Gensel, like Vancouver Canucks fans wanted Jake Gensel. That's the top line, guys. They are going to light up the league, but they really have one solid line, but it's so dominant. It's like the Oilers back in the day. The Oilers would just run over everyone with that one line. So Hedman is still good. McDonough's still fine. You know what I mean? Like, you're just looking at this roster, everyone, and here we are. And Valesky is still a very good goaltender. So that's why I got them at 13. Okay, so I'm just going to dive into any things. Rome thinks that the Kings are going to drop. There is, you think their Kings are going to drop as well. Here we go. He is a good player that can be great, but if not a phenomenal player, it all depends. I mean, he already has exceeded all expectations, in my opinion. So Jersey is the dark horse that sneaks into the playoffs for critical chaos damage. I think that can happen. I think New Jersey by the end of the season is going to be a playoff team, but I'm starting them there because it's a big jump from 23 at the end of last year to 14. So, yes, personalized, Hedman is a top 5 D-man for sure. But losing Stamkos, but upgraded, I don't think that's an upgrade, everyone. I guess he's younger, and I just think Stamkos, you can't outgo Stamkos. The Wild are doing great considering they lost $14 million in dead cap space, right? That's a good point. That's a really good point. Okay. According to you, yeah, could make the playoffs. Allmark, yeah, goaltending with a solid D-man and of course a few forwards. I don't know. We'll see. I think Allmark does give the Sens a legit shot to win every single night, and so we're going to go. Okay, I know you guys want to see. So now this is where you're going to be happy or mad. We're going into the top 12, everyone, and this is it. This is it. So we're going to go 12-6, and then we're going to go to the top 5. And you're either going to be, yeah, I can see that, Trev, or you're going to sit there and go, I'm upset. So number 12, I got the Vegas Golden Knights. Number 11, I got the Winnipeg Jets. Number 10, I got the Vancouver Canucks. Number 9, I got the Toronto Maple Leafs. Number 8, I got the Boston Bruins, which could be falling depending on the Swayman thing. Number 7, I have Nashville. And number 6, I have Colorado Avalanche. I know many of you are going to be upset about this, so let me just explain. I still believe the Vegas Golden Knights are stacked. They have great team. I really believe in their goaltending in the way of Aiden Hill. I think Mark Stone is still a contributor. Eichel, Olofsson, William Karlsson, Hurdle is their third line center, everyone. I think this team and is good, really good. Shea Theodore, Pietrangelo, Hannafin, like this team can still make noise. Samsonov is the backup. He was the starter for Toronto last year, everyone. I believe in the Vegas Golden Knights team, and that's crazy. Now, the one is, if anyone from Winnipeg is watching this, they're going to be really upset that I'm picking the Winnipeg Jets and this low. But I think that this is a very solid team. Adam Lowry might be the best third line center in hockey. Very possible. But Scheifele, Velarde, Connor, that's top line. Eller's on the second line. Perfetti, Nemes, Kinov, I can't remember how to say his name. I forgot his name. And I think defensively, they're fine. They have some big boys, and they grind you down. But the real thing is they still have Hellebuck, Vezina Trophy winner. Maybe I have Winnipeg too low. But our Vancouver Canucks, I have at 10. Now, some of you are going to be like, yep, that's true. Others are going to be like, they dropped from 6 all the way down to 10. And the reason why I did that is because of the Demko situation. I'm nervous, and I love Shelovs, don't get me wrong, but if we're going to give Lankinen a lot of time, I think the Vancouver Canucks will drop in the standings, but when Demko comes back, they have a chance to be contenders. And hey, top 10 is a really good, in my opinion, still. I know some of you are going to be losing your minds, but this is my honest, passionate, realistic take. Some of you are just going to be mad because Vancouver is below the Toronto Maple Leafs. And the reason why I have them just below Toronto is the core four is still there. Oh, by the way, and back to Vancouver is, I'm not sure which Pettersson we're going to see yet. I'm hoping that DeBrusk and Sprong really help him to go to the next level, but I'm not convinced, everyone. I'm not convinced that that's there yet. 89 points, that's great. He had a good start to the season. I really want to see Pettersson better before I move them up, but I love the additions of Sherwood, DeBrusk, I think Heinen's going to be a solid one. I don't know if he's going to be a great one. Losing Joshua also matters. That I wanted Zadorov there. By the way, we'll talk about that in the Boston series or Boston conversation. But I'm worried about the Vancouver Canucks until Demko gets back, till Joshua gets back. Suter's not in the lineup right now. There's a lot of holes that we don't realize. Now, it was fun watching smoke Edmonton the other night. But again, it matters, but it is preseason. But I still think Edmonton needs some respect here. I do think they're really good. As you can see, I have them in the top 5. So we're going to go with Vancouver there. Toronto's got the core 4. I think that Wall and Stolarz is going to be a good combo for Toronto. I think they're just going to be fine. A lot of these Leaf fans believe in Wall in goaltending, right? In goal, I mean. And he looks really good. Young, but we'll see. We'll see. But, I mean, Matthews, Mitch Marner. You've got Nylander and Tavares, Max Domi, Paxaretti. I don't know. They're solid. Chris Tanev, that only helps at this stage, right? Jake McCabe, OEL's there, Morgan Riley. I don't know. If you want to argue this, I'm not sure how you get. I guess the only thing you can argue is they don't have the goaltending, and if you think that if I don't think Vancouver does, then yeah, let's go to Boston. Boston's high because I think that Swayman and Boston are going to work out a deal real quick here. That's the only reason I have Boston real high. But if Boston doesn't have Swayman, they're going to drop like a rock, people, and I think they're a very, very good team. You've got the addition of Lindholm and Zadorov. Okay. Then you always have Brad Marchand there. You've got Zacha. Pasternak is unbelievable. He's got to be in the top 5, top 10 best players in the league. This team is built to pound you. And then you add Lindholm, you add Zadorov. You've got McAvoy, the Lindholm, the defenseman as well. This team is good. So Korpisalo starting, that scares me. So I've got them a little higher probably. I should have dropped them a little bit more because of the Swayman. I just think that Swayman comes back. Now, Nashville. Okay, there's 25 comments since I've gone there. I'm not done this here, but Nashville, everyone, I've got the Predators there. I think you're saying, how can you rise up Nashville? We beat them in the playoffs. Because I think their additions of not only Stamkos, but they needed scoring, and that's what they got. So let me just bring up Nashville here real quick as I'm just talking with you. I just think that Stamkos, even though he's older, is still a difference maker. Okay. So they're just that team that grinds you out if they can get scoring. Jonathan Marchessault, guys, that him and Stamkos showing up, I think it just helps this team. Philip Forsberg is dynamite good. He is so good. If he was on a better team, I think a lot of people would be drafting him in the top 10. Defensively, they're always amazing. Absolutely amazing. And then you just can't. Saros is so good. He is so good. We saw him firsthand. I moved them up. Where were they in the standings? They were 11th. I moved them up to 7th, everyone. And then we go back to the Colorado Avalanche. And what's there not to like about Colorado? I think, a lot of you will say, well, maybe Georgiev, the goaltender, but it's like they do enough to win games. We're talking Makar, we're talking McKinnon, we're talking Rantanen. And then they just have this incredible team built around the core. And I am just like Jonathan Drouin, Casey Middleset was a great trade that they got last year. I just, their defense, Taves and Makar, Gerard, Manson, Brandstrom, like the solid team. And I do think their backup goaltender is going to steal some wins as well. That's why I have them as number 6. If their goaltending was better, I'd have them even higher. Okay, I'm going to dive into some comments, then I'm going to get into the top 5. All right, I'm expecting some real pushback here. Stamkos went to Nashville. So Jeevan believes that the Canucks should finish 5th or 6th. They finished 6th last year. So, okay. Dell's not happy. Jack's not happy. That's fine. Preds over Canucks is a hot take. Swap them. I want to, but without Demko, I'm not swapping them. Just move the O and the 10 and almost Canucks at 10 is criminal. Wow. Vegas with that extra linear cap size, right? I know it's not fair. No way that Boston is above us while they're struggling with Swayman. I think he's going to be back. So we'll see. It's okay. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Okay, everyone. Everyone's upset. Okay, number 10. Sounds good. Questionable goaltending and only 1, maybe 2 solid defensemen. And what are the power play production if PK can execute? Yeah, you're right. Okay, I know. I understand, Carol. I understand. We got a dislike for him. You'd have Vancouver higher for sure. Missing Demko, start the year hurts. Guys, I just want you to know something about the Demko situation. It might not just be missing Demko to start the year. It might be missing Demko till February. Like, that's what we're talking about. Like, you don't know. They're so tight-lipped. You don't know. And I just feel it's going to be way longer than we anticipate. So yeah, I ranked Vancouver 8. I was being generously biased, right? There you go. Grogu has not been kidnapped. Okay. Canucks aren't going to surprise any teams this season. Last season, that caught a few teams sleeping. That's right. I definitely disagree with you. Vancouver is going to be better than you think. Is going to be back soon. Demko is going to be back soon. I don't think he is, but I hope you're right. You're going to do well. I thought you had more faith in your team. No, it's not about that. It's about he's a difference maker, everyone. He's a difference maker. We also are missing Joshua. We're also missing Suter right now. And we don't know what Pettersson we're going to have. So, like, I love this team. I'm going to cheer them on, but let's be realistic. It's not faith, but it's passionate, realistic, and honest. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Realistically, putting Calgary higher than 28th. Really? What about that team? Do you think? I don't see anything on that team that I'm there. Yeah, Michael's right. It's okay to disagree, but it's silly to be upset with him. There you go. He's being honest and his opinion, and it's not like his opinion is going to determine the fate of the country. Preach it, brother. Preach it. Just saying. Okay. Faith is from the heart. Sometimes when you do power rankings, it's more of the result of analytics and not bias. Come on. I agree. If their goaltending was better, I'd rank them higher. Yes, Georgiev is a very good goaltender, but look at his goals against. Dude, he was not good last year. He was not good. Just saying. So I'm hoping that we're there. And see, this is where I think you need to let Demko get fully healthy. And if we can survive that and then he's fully healthy, let's go. And this is one of the reasons why I have Calgary so low. Huberdeau, I like Weegar. Huberdeau, I do not believe in that guy. I do not believe that this team is good enough. So, yeah, Trev, you're definitely a Calgary hater and an Edmonton lover. Absolutely not. I'm a respecter of Edmonton. Guys, I'm going to go to the top 5 right now. I know you're going to be mad about this, but you just need to hear it out for a second. Number 5, I have the Hurricanes. Number 4, I have Dallas. Number 3, I have the New York Rangers. Number 2, I have the Edmonton Oilers. And the number 1, I've got Florida. Let me start with the beginning. The Florida Panthers need to be on every single person's number one power ranking. If they don't have the ranking at number one, then they have it wrong. You cannot dethrone the Stanley Cup champs before they play the season. You have to have Florida at number one. Now, I know people want to like look cool and be the guys like, see, I told you. And they're saying New Jersey Devils are going to win or the Dallas Stars are going to win. Do whatever you want. You can make that prediction. But I'm saying going into the season, the Florida Panthers are number one. They won the Stanley Cup. And the reason why I had Edmonton Oilers at number two is because they were one game away from winning the Stanley Cup last year. And in my opinion, they improved. Yes, they lost Holloway. Yes, they lost Broberg. But I'm telling you, Arvidsson, if he can stay healthy, the addition of Skinner for dirt cheap, I just think this team got better, everyone. And they were one game away. So I'm going to keep Edmonton right now at my number two. I respect them. I am not a lover of the Edmonton Oilers, but they kept Draisaitl. They've still got McDavid flying. I think Hyman's still going to score 50 goals. And you might not like Nurse, but Bouchard is a stud. And Ekholm is, since he's arrived, they've done nothing but win. I know they struggled at the beginning of the season, but what they did to get back into the playoffs and then to make noise, they almost beat us for the Pacific, guys, and they had one of the worst starts in their franchise history of having a good team, right? And so think about that. Before you get into your fandom, think about that. The Edmonton Oilers deserve to be up there. There's nothing from the offseason till now that changes that for me. In fact, I think they got better. So do I think they're going to win the Stanley Cup? They definitely have a chance. I'm not sure. I think Vancouver, we can take them out if we're healthy. I think we can. I think that we can compete with them, and they are not the elite of the elite. But right now, we'll see. They got to prove it. Number three is a team that I think could win the Stanley Cup. I think the New York Rangers are stacked. They're loaded with talent. They are so loaded with talent. So if you saying, well, who's going to be in the finals? I wouldn't be surprised if the New York Rangers are in the finals this year. I have them number three right now. I'm surprised they didn't beat Florida last year, but they didn't. And then the Dallas Stars, old team, never say die, never quit. Ottenberg is fantastic. That's why I like New York. Shesterkin is amazing. And that's, I guess, the point about this list. Is like these are really great teams. So the Hurricanes, I don't know if you can argue. I mean, they got to be in this top 5 to 7, right? They just have to be. I know they lost. I know that they lost Gensel, but I just don't think it's that big. Like it's a big deal, but it's not like take them out and they're no longer good. Big deal. Okay, you still have Jarvis, Aho, Kotkaniemi, if he can actually do something. Nashis. Stikhanov, so Snatchkov, that's what it is. Sorry. Jordan Stahl's the third line center. This team's solid, guys. They have good D. They have solid D, not great, but Anderson and their backup, man, those guys, I think they're good. They're good. So I'm interested in see what you think. You guys think that interesting what you're gonna say. Okay. Exactly. This is the point right here. We need them, right? So Florida lost too many players. Edmonton has no D. That's just not true. Del, that's just not true. Ekholm and Bouchard are very, very good. Nurse, they're overpaying him. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, he's on the second line. Like we've got Myers on the second line, bro. Like before we start like yelling out, what if the Canucks traded Demko for Swayman's rights? That would be amazing. But he wants like $8 million. So I don't think that's going to happen because we don't have the room. Oilers got worse. Their blue line. Yeah, I guess losing Broberg, but their forward lines got better. So I don't know. Let me just bring it up here. I know you guys just hate Edmonton, and I just think like that's the problem is is I just think the hate's gone too far. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm totally out to lunch here. All their lines are still back. You got Podkolzin on the fourth line now with Corey Perry. Connor Brown's still there. Janmark. Ekholm, Bouchard, Nurse, Emberson, Kulak, Troy Stetcher. I think that's a fine defensive core. I don't understand this comment at all, honestly. And I agree. Their goaltending is too inconsistent, but Skinner from games 4 to 7 was unbelievable. So I don't really want to spend the night defending my Edmonton pick because I do feel it's quite obvious. But yes, the Canucks almost beat them. Yes, right. We just didn't have Demko, and if we don't have Demko, it's going to be hard for us to beat them again. So, but maybe Sheila takes a step. But if it's Lankinen, I'm telling you guys, I'm not a fan. Hope he's better than I think. Yeah, man. Dude, Kreider, Panarin, Zibanejad, they are amazing. They are amazing, and two awesome goaltenders. Yeah, the injuries we're facing right now, Shannon, are crazy. Yeah, this is why I picked them so high. Do you think Vancouver got better? Where did Vancouver get worse? Okay, I think that Vancouver got better. I think Vancouver got better in the forward lines. They had, like, getting rid of Mikheyev was massive. Sprong is to be determined. I'm really hoping he pans out. A lot of people criticize that Forberg Desharnais stuff, so that's definitely where everyone. But we still have the core defense, the top 4 defensemen still the same. We still have the same core with Pettersson and Miller and Besser and Hughes. So I think we can be higher than where I have them ranked. They just have to prove it. So Canes can do damage if they can get past the Rangers. That's difficult. Trouba is not only a liability, but he's also a blessing because he's got that intimidation factor too. So, yeah, I know you can't hate the Edmonton Oilers as Kelly Buchberger is your cousin. That's awesome. That's awesome. I like the DeBrusk ad. I really hope he pans out. So, Oilers outscored Panthers 18-5 from games 4 to 6. You don't really need good goaltending when that happens. Desharnais is a solid D-man with a long reach and a long stick. He's also very strong and can muscle out a puck in the corner. Absolutely. But what he is not good at is skating. His speed is slow, and a lot of Oilers fans are laughing at us that we got him. So he's got an opportunity to make a difference. So that's my list, everyone. That's my list. So post in the comments who you think I have, and that where I'm right, where I'm wrong. I'm really thankful that you're here. I really am okay if you have a different opinion than me. It doesn't bother me at all. But what does is you got to come with some facts, not just some feelings. And let's just cheer on our team. I'm hoping we're going to win the Stanley Cup this year. I really hope we do. So I hope everyone has a great night. Thank you, Coach Rob. I think there's going to be lots of different changes going back down. I think we're in for a great season. So thanks so much for watching, everyone. Have a great night. And just so you know, I'm not live streaming for the first game of the season. I'm going to be on a cruise. I'm literally going to California, and we're leaving tomorrow. So I won't be doing any streaming until I get back. So, and I'm going to the Flyers game. So just a heads up, the first 2 games, there will not be any live streams after the game from me, but I'll be doing them after that. So I'll be filming from the Flyers game. My wife and I are going. We're celebrating our 25th wedding anniversary. We're going on a cruise, and we're flying back to Vancouver and going to the Flyers game on Friday night. Can't wait. Section 102. If you see me, say hi. And of course, always, everyone, let's cheer on these Canucks. Let's hope we win the Stanley Cup. And of course, always, go Canucks, go.